That's Shinedown on the show. It's Rock 105.3. So I can't tell you how pumped I am for Saturday night. Oh, I'm going to tell him. Yes, Bellator 300. You get to the 300th show of anything, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So Bellator 300 is happening right here in our backyard in San Diego at Pechanga Arena on Saturday. Huge fights going down, so they wanted to go big. If you're going to go 300, originally we were getting 4 title fights. Unfortunately, we lost one of them, but 3 title fights is still incredible.
Yeah.
And we are joined right now by MMA analyst and former fighter Chael Sonnen. The gangsta's here.
Chael. What's
He's
up,
the
guys?
best.
Good morning.
Yeah, the best, man.
Thank you.
So, Chael, I got to immediately talk to you. I was just telling you we had Liz Carmouche earlier this week, and talking to her about her fight was fascinating because she's fighting a former training partner and friend. Did you ever fight somebody that you ever trained with?
I never did, and you know what? And there's something that's like extremely unloyal about that. I would have fought him. And but I follow
for a
that
belt,
same
right?
code. Yeah, but it's a little bit of a different deal. I grew up as a wrestler,
right?
So we had to wrestle off with our teammates in the room just to be in the varsity position. You get to college, you got scholarships on the line, but sometimes you're wrestling off against your roommate. You'll drive to the event together. You'll warm up together. You'll have the match and drive home and you go through your cupboards and try to find some dinner together. Like, it was just a different situation.
Yeah.
But there's a litmus test. Like, these two girls are trying to say that they're friends and they're teammates. The test is simply this: if you're both at the same gym and you sign to fight each other and you both return to the same gym at the same practice times with the same coaches, you're teammates. They didn't do that.
Okay.
They're working a story. But Liz Carmouche up and left. The coach stayed with the Lima Lay, which is a business decision. I'm not buying this friends thing. If you're friends, you would have stayed together.
Wow.
Whoa.
I love it.
Didn't see that coming.
I love it.
And honestly, the true test will be the fight itself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in there and you want to keep the belt or you want to win the belt.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's a lot on the line. This is going to be a really interesting fight.
Yeah, and they claim they're going to dinner afterwards, win or lose. Like, well, that's one awkward meal.
Somebody's face is
black
busted.
eye that you gave her, and now she's got your belt, and all of a
You
sudden her
didn't go
boyfriend's
to-
looking at you
Yeah,
like it's a weird situation.
You didn't go to dinner with Jon Jones afterwards?
No. You don't want to know what happened afterwards with my Jon Jones fight. The
What's
fight
that?
was in the East Coast, so we didn't leave to the ring until almost 1 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So at any rate, John stays up around the horn. 6 a.m., I go down to the lobby to get to my bus to go to the airport with my mother. Jon Jones was sitting at a table talking to my mother, and he was only wearing sweatpants. No shirt, no hat, no socks, no shoes. And how do I know it was only sweatpants? Because when he said goodbye, he mooned my mother. And that is funny. What do you? Is that offensive? Because I think that's funny. And so did my mom. My mom's in this bunko group, and she told all the girls on Facebook.
That was funny. Well, if your mom's cool like that.
It was funny too.
But
I
if
don't
you're
like Jon Jones, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah, but if your mom's offended, then that's a different vibe. But if she's cool, then that's awesome.
No, I think she wanted to see it again. I think she liked this little butt. Oh, yeah, she came home and told everybody. I'm like, Mom, that dude just whipped your little boy's ass. Quit talking about it. But I think he liked me.
Was there a reason? Like, why did you decide
That's how he said goodbye.
Okay. That's a wild way to say goodbye to somebody, but,
Yeah. Oh, and he murdered me, too. I got, stitches in my head. I'm embarrassed. I'm all these different... He's drunk around the horn visiting with my mom. Had a shirt on in the hotel lobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does any fighter like Jon Jones? It seems like everyone doesn't like
I think
him.
there's respect
There's
there,
respect, but personally.
The problem is this. There's a lot of envy around Jon Jones, and his biggest nemesis are his own teammates because he'll do the least workouts, he'll show up late, he'll leave early, he'll come in 3 or 4 days a week, and then he'll whip everyone's ass and take all the money.
Yeah, it's like Lawrence Taylor in football.
Sure.
He was smoking crack, he didn't work out, and then he went on the football field. Nobody could stop him.
Yep. Yeah. Or Rodman.
he's on crack.
Remember Dennis Rodman?
Yes.
Same situation.
Go party in Vegas all weekend and then come win a championship.
Yeah.
People tell John that all the time. Hey, you need to clean it up. You need to focus. Like, I don't know about that. There's some guys. There's some guys that do better in a different environment.
That's so interesting.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
It's absolutely insanity. So going back to the fights, Bellator 300 going down on Saturday. One of the more interesting title fights.
Are you talking about the one where tickets are at Access?
I believe that's what I'm referring to.
It's on Showtime at 10 Eastern?
That is what I'm referring to.
That one.
Yeah, Chael. Which you're a part of that broadcast, which is going to be fun. You're on ESPN. It's fantastic. Now, one of the big fights is Cyborg. Cyborg defending her title against Alpha Cat Zingano, who's been in studio with us too. She's trained here in San Diego. That fight has been built up for a while now. These two seems like they've been on a path ever since Cat Zingano's been in Bellator, and they're finally going to meet. What do you expect to see out of this one?
I am so impressed that you knew all of that, all the way down to her nickname of Alpha. And you want to know something? People tell you that MMA math doesn't work like common opponents. MMA math works all the time. It's the greatest trajectory that we have. I mean, like literally the betting sites and the houses in Vegas will look for common opponents. They have a common opponent. The common opponent is Amanda Nunes, who Cyborg couldn't make it 62 seconds with, and who Alpha Zingano beat.
Yes.
I think it's relevant. Alpha Zingano is very live in this fight. I mean, she's a massive underdog. It was like 4.5 to 1. I do not agree with that spread.
Really? Well, Kat is a grappler mostly. And, we know Cyborg is a striker, but she can grapple too. Like, they don't give her enough credit because she's always standing up. But this really could go either way, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And Cyborg is so physically strong.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just a big, strong. There was no fat on the bone. I mean, you take one look at her, and, I mean, the physique. You and I are trying to get her physique, right? I mean, she's
I would love to look like her. I would love to look.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine being that lean? Oh, I'd be so proud of myself.
Oh, yeah.
My clothes would fit better.
Oh, it'd be great.
I could quit taking steroids. It would really be a helpful situation.
Yeah.
I bring that strength up because I agree with you on the grappling, and I do agree that that's the path for any opponent is get off your feet with that girl. But she's so strong. Not only is she very good on the ground, she's really hard to get there.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's a very interesting fight to me. I'm really excited to see how that one plays off. And then we got the main event. I mean, we haven't even got to the main event. Like I said, this is going to be a stacked card. Tickets are available. Again, you can watch it on show. This is going to be.
You mean the tickets that are at Access and at Bellator.com?
I believe that's what it is, Chael. Guy's incredible.
Wow.
He's the best.
He knows how to sell.
Usman Nurmagomedov versus Brent Primus. This is going to be an interesting fight as well.
I love it. Yeah, Nurmagomedov. I mean, that family name is right up there with the Gracies,
undefeated.
And the Shamrocks. Yeah. Oh, and this guy, he's about the nicest. He's so handsome. I mean, this guy's got everything, right? He's the world champion. He's undefeated. He's got a pocket full of money, but he doesn't have a Grand Prix championship. I mean, you wonder how you keep a guy like this motivated. Well, you put something out there he doesn't have yet, and he's
$1 million on the line, right?
$1 million. He's got to get through Brent Primus, who's a former world champion. Which, by the way, to win that world championship, he stopped Michael Chandler. Like, this is a tough night out for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Now, that one's going to be a good one. I'm, again, looking forward to all the fights. It's going to be a great night, so definitely get your tickets. Going to be at Pechanga Arena on Saturday night. Chael, you've fought the who's who in your career.
Yeah.
You think about it. We mentioned Jon Jones. You fought Fedor. You fought Anderson Silva. I mean, these are like GOAT status people. What do you think is the one fight that you look back on and go, that's the one that was the toughest or the craziest or the best?
Oh, geez, the one that keeps me up at night is with Anderson Silva. I fought him a couple of times, but one of them I had this guy. I didn't even have to beat him anymore. I just had to run out the clock.
Yep.
It was so close. I'll never forget watching it. Minutes.
I had never been in a 5-round fight before. I'd been scheduled for him, but they got stopped or whatever happened.
Yeah.
So it was the most exhausted I've ever been on my time on this earth. And
really?
I didn't know what round it was. I thought we were in the 4th round. And my coach told me we're going into the 4th round, and it was the 5th round. That's the world's worst excuse. Somebody said that. I go, what do you mean you don't know what round it was? I was so tired. I didn't know what round it was. And I only say that because I think I might have played it different. Had I known
you
we
wouldn't
only
have
have
gone,
one more minute, I could have got up and circled. I could have ran away. There was a million things I could have done to just run that damn clock out. But I thought we had, I thought we were only halfway through the fight.
Well, honestly, what you did, when looking back at it, wasn't a bad strategy. You got him down again, and you were dominating the fight. He just caught you in a submission, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then, again, like 1 or 2 minutes, I forget exactly how much time was left on the clock, but it was a short time, and you would have been world champion.
And I'll tell you, Eddie, I haven't seen Anderson Silva. I participated in a press conference when he was going to fight Jake Paul. But other than that, I have not seen him since we left the cage. I'm going to be with him next week. I'm staying in California.
Oh, really?
He's got a television show coming out in Brazil. It's like a documentary. I'm going to L.A. to do a commercial, and he's going to be there. I don't know what that's going to be like. But I'm going to see Anderson next week.
Well, what's
That's
crazy
cool.
about Chael is, you were kind of brought in the personality to MMA. You were one of the guys before the Conor McGregors and everybody else who was really into hyping up the fight, bringing a lot of eyes to it with your promos and things like that. Did you get that from wrestling, from like actual like WWE wrestling, or what made, or is that just your personality?
Well, and that's very nice that you knew that. Thank you for knowing anything about my career, Eddie. You flattered me. But when you say that I would talk about a fight, do you mean like the one Saturday that's at 10 o'clock on Showtime?
Let me check my notes. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Wow.
Yeah, just by example. I like that kind of stuff. My old man was into that. My dad and I would watch these fights together, and I grew up during the actual Four Horsemen: Hagler, Duran, Hearns, Leonard.
Oh, not Ric Flair?
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, the true great era of boxing, in my opinion. And but we would talk about that. We wouldn't just talk about a guy's jab or his cross to the body. We would talk about what did he say? How did he make us interested? How did he pick this fight? What did he do after he got the fight? How did he build it? What did he do at the press conference? We talk about those things. So yes, when it was my turn, I would just copy some of the things from the guys that I like. But a lot of it was influenced by wrestling. Yes.
But you had an amazing ability to make your opponent really hate you.
Yeah.
And they would come in
Great
and
heel.
they'd beat you had a little bit of that ability where you would really piss these guys off.
Sure. No, for sure. I mean, I would try to. Well, and when I got into it, I was looked at as really disrespectful and what a bad sport. And I didn't agree. Like, these guys in fighting are scumbags. They will be nice to your face because that's honor. They'll bow to your face and then they'll put a knife in your back.
Yeah,
I will tell you to your face, the first chance I have to put a knife in your back, I'm going to do it. And I thought my way was the honorable way. I still think it is.
Yeah, honestly, did you think there is a mental aspect to fighting of like, I'm going to mess with your head a little bit, and did that affect them?
Yeah, people said that it did. People would say that about me, so I believe it. That stuff wouldn't get to me, and that was never my goal. My goal was never to do with the opponent, it had to do with the audience. I was just trying to get the audience and make sure that people were tuning in and they knew about the match. But I think it did have a byproduct of getting in the guy's head. It turned out to be very effective for getting fights.
Yeah.
I found myself in some opportunities that my record would not have qualified me for. There was some real opportunity to be able to get the mandate of the masses.
Yeah.
Now, Eddie brought up WWE. WWE's with Endeavor now and the UFC. You still look like you're in great shape. You could talk with the best of them. Have you ever thought about making that jump and going to WWE a little bit, like Brock Lesnar has, like we've seen Matt Riddle do, and guys like that?
In my sophomore year of college, there was something called WCW.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember
Yeah, I remember WCW.
There was once a year, you're too young to know, but it was called 1998. And they would advertise this thing called the Power Plant, but that was a WCW training center.
Okay.
Kind of like NXT for our current
100%.
And I went out to that. One summer, I went out to that. I was an All-American. I had a couple years left of college, but I went out to that. And I made it through. I got invited to come back, but I finished college, and 2 years later, they were out of business.
Oh,
wow.
That's
and I know how to do it back then. Like now you can find anybody. You can go on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
Back then, you had to know somebody. Or, it was really tough to get those kind of introductions. That was my way in, and they were gone.
Well, I'm sort of glad it didn't work out because then we got to enjoy you in MMA and your entire career and all that stuff. And we get to enjoy you Saturday night.
Wow.
Bellator 300, Pechanga Arena.
Yes.
It's going to be fantastic. We're really looking forward to it.
It says, "Here's your hat. What's your hurry?" I feel like this is. I'm supposed to get out of here now.
Oh,
like,
well,
this is like a drop. What is it that you have to do that's so important?
Let me tell you, Chael.
All right.
I got to tell you about the Padres because we had a very disappointing season here in San Diego, and they made an announcement yesterday about the future of the team. So I will be talking about that next in Sports Dirt. Thanks, Chael.